What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Check Down Podcast. I am your host, Shirtless Pat. With me today, we got Cody McGoats. Other way, there it is, Cody McGoats. Greg Gormley, the only person here that can really celebrate this season. So fuck off, Greg. For everybody that has been dying to see us, all four of you, we apologize we haven't been on since before the Super Bowl. We just haven't been able to keep traction, keep things going. We're busy. So if you do follow the show, today's not going to be standard episode. We're not going to have all our downs. But feel free to put something in the comments. Feel free to drop questions and feel free to chat along while we're talking. So be active in the comment section and we'll just get right at it. Free agency kicked off. A lot of exciting stuff happened. Greg, since your team won the Super Bowl, you can go first. You can celebrate that, and then you can tell us about the free agent moves for the Chiefs.
Yeah, pretty exciting times considering that this was supposed to be more so of a rebuild year for the Chiefs. And then they came out and just foot on the throttle, didn't skip a beat with missing Tyreek Hill and went out, got that ring, which was really nice to see. Yeah, Super Bowl, it was a great game. Yeah, kind of unfortunate the holding call at the end because it's like kind of like nobody wanted to see that. But as a Chiefs fan, I didn't mind it because the Chiefs ended up winning because of it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy they ended up winning the Super Bowl and got my new banner up here. Very exciting times. That being said, free agency has been pretty crazy so far. The Chiefs have done a very good job so far, like low key. They went out, they got Juwan Taylor. I think they're going to end up having him play left tackle. They went and signed that defensive tackle from the 49ers, who's very athletic and play all over the line. He's very gifted athlete. Re-signed Turk Wharton, which was good. They lost a few guys, like Thornhill just got signed to the Browns tonight. Juju got signed to the Patriots earlier today. So they're going to be losing some guys here and there, but eventually they're going to be able to get a receiver. The market right now isn't too hot for that. So yeah, things are looking good so far in this offseason.
Let's talk about that Super Bowl real quick. So I'm glad you brought up that holding call. I would say that was one of the most entertaining and best Super Bowls we've had in a long time. Like, I was very into it. And I feel like the whole game was fucking tainted because of the last couple minutes. The holding call, that redo on third down, like the whole situation just kind of tainted the whole game. So people are always going to look back on it and be like, this wasn't a great Super Bowl. It was rigged. The NFL was, the script thing was going into Super Bowl week, and then this shit happens, and everybody's like, oh, of course it was a terrible.
If only our other host was here, he'd go off on the whole script.
Is he for sure? He would be so mad at Greg right now, talking about how it's all bullshit and it's all fake and it's all rigged. But seriously, let's talk about that. Where do you rate the Super Bowl? I mean, there's like 50 some of them. Where do you rate it? Top half, top quarter, whatever. And then do you think that call affects it so much that the game itself isn't looked at as well as it could be? Okay,
Cody. Probably my 11th fit. No, I don't know. Just kidding. I mean, it's funny we use script because this Super Bowl is a lot like a movie for me personally. I thought it was a great Super Bowl. Just like movies. If I like the movie, it's a good movie, but the ending sucks, I end up not liking the movie. And that's kind of just how this Super Bowl was for me. I thought it was a great Super Bowl up until like what you said, the last 3-4 minutes ruined it for me. I don't know. It's the same thing. Like I said, with movies, the ending killed it for me.
Cody, can you bring up Dynasty Pylon's comments? I no longer have that ability for some reason, so it won't let me do it.
Oh, I forgot you can click on comments so you can see stuff.
Yeah. Yes. So Dynasty Pylon says, what's up, guys? Glad you guys are back. Have a great stream. Thanks, man. Thanks for tuning in, joining us.
We appreciate it. I have all the power now.
You do. I got nothing. I can't do shit. So, Greg, I know that they won, so obviously it's a great Super Bowl for you, probably top 3. But what do you think, and do you think that tarnishes the reputation of the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I say it, it hurts it a little bit, slightly, because that could have went down as potentially the greatest Super Bowl of all time if you let that last drive play out for the Eagles. So let's say they don't call the PI. Chiefs kick the field goal, take a 3-point lead. You give the Eagles about 2 or 3 minutes to drive down to either tie it, send it into overtime, or win it on a game-winning touchdown. It could have ended up being the greatest Super Bowl of all time if they did not throw that penalty flag. I'd still probably put it in. I'd probably say it's in the top 10 Super Bowls of all time. Then again, we're on the younger side of the spectrum, but I still think it was pretty good. It sucked that call was made, I mean, it was holding, but like they weren't calling it all games, so that's what kind of pissed a lot of people off. Like they talked about it on the McAfee show and everything. That it just left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. But I'd still put it in my top 10.
See, the holding call to me didn't bother me as much as the redo on third down. And everybody's like, well, it didn't change anything. It didn't happen, but it changed a lot. It took an extra minute and 30 seconds off the clock. When you're talking a good offense, an explosive offense, a minute and 30 seconds is shit ton. So even at the end of the game with the holding penalty, there was like, 3 or 4 seconds left. That would have been a minute and 34. That would have been plenty of time for a chance. So that really tarnished it for me. The holding penalty, it was there. Was a Bradbury. He came out and said, I did hold him. They weren't calling it all game. I understand that. But he even admitted that he did it. So that didn't affect it. But the redo on third down really pissed me off because it took a minute and 30 seconds off the clock. That really hurts a team at the end of the game. So,
oh yeah, because the Eagles were doing just as well as the Chiefs on offense almost,
yeah.
And like the way they were playing was phenomenal. So they probably would have gone down at the bare minimum, kicked a field goal, send that game into overtime.
Yeah, I really think that third down ruined it. I kind of correlate this game to the Chiefs-Bills game in the AFC Championship game or divisional round 2 years ago. The game itself, was actually really boring, but the last 3 minutes were super exciting. Complete opposite here. This game was really exciting, and the last 3 minutes kind of fucking ruined it. But everyone talks about how great that Bills-Chiefs game was, but it was actually kind of dull. And this game was really great, but everyone's only going to talk about the last 3 minutes.
It just goes back to my point. Sometimes the ending makes it all.
It does.
That's what they're going to remember most.
We can correlate that to sex, You can have great sex, but if you don't finish,
Not how you start, it's how you finish.
It's not how you finish. It doesn't really matter how the whole in between goes. As long as the end goal is achieved. So.
Sometimes all it takes is 3 minutes to make something good.
Anyway. All right, Cody, go ahead and talk to me about your squad and the free agency.
What's up, Clarence?
Up,
what the hell is there to talk about? We haven't done anything. We re-signed our third string tight end, who I guess now at this point is our tight end 1. And I like the Keyshawn Nixon re-signing. He was a Pro Bowl returner last year. I do like that. Outside of that, other than the obvious Aaron Rodgers news, but not really much to say on that yet. Other than he's not even a Jet player. And I'm telling you, these Jets fans, they're going to go hype, but they're going to understand the pain. He's going to hold that. He's not even on the team. And he's like, get these players. It just, they're going to understand my frustrations.
It makes for good TV.
Hey, Greg, how's that gummy worm taste?
Hey, it's Packers colors.
That's more Jets. It looks like white, but no, speaking on the Rodgers things quick, obviously he came out today, said he plans to play with the Jets. Apparently what's holding it up is Green Bay wants some sort of Matthew Stafford type package in return. And I don't think the Jets are willing to give up that much yet. So that's kind of the stalemate we're at there.
Buki said he might mess up the spelling, but Adam Thielen's in talks with the Chiefs.
Supposedly every wide receiver is blowing up Mahomes' phone right now. So, yeah, they've been linked to every single receiver right now, which is absolutely insane. But it's a really good market right now. Juju got $11 million a year. Jacoby Myers $11 million a year. Like, not a lot of money in the receiver market.
Well, there's not really that good receivers out there. Exactly. Alan Lazard's been signed. Jacoby Myers, let's be honest, he's okay, but he's not great. He didn't do amazing things in New England.
They all got 11 a year, though. Like, that's been the highest so far. Like, Juju, Lazard, Myers, they've all gotten 11 a year.
It's unlike last year where Christian Kirk came out with like $22 million. So
that's wild.
Fucking ruined everything. The Titans couldn't sign AJ after that. All right, so speaking of the Titans, I'll go ahead and run into mine. Buki, feel free to throw it in the comments because me and you have different opinions on the Titans, and I know you really care. So the Titans, man, I was so pissed because they made all the cuts up until this week as I expected. Every single player that needed cut, they cut him. And I was like, let's make all this money back because we were in the fucking hole. So we got all this money back, and I was expecting them to make a move, and my move would have been to re-sign Big Jeff. They haven't signed Big Jeff. Really butthurt about it. But let's talk about who they did sign. So they got Arden Key today, outside linebacker, pass rusher. A lot of people are giving that an A minus, a B plus rating. I don't know much about him. I know they let DeMarcus Walker walk for $7 million a year. He had 7 sacks last year, and Arden Key had 4.5. But Arden Key's getting a lot more pressure, so I'll take that big signing there. Andre Dillard, backup tackle for the Eagles. He's hating it. He actually hasn't been terrible when he had a chance to play. He did lose his starting job to Mailata, but he's better than Dennis Daly. Dennis Daly was statistically the worst offensive tackle in the history of the NFL. The times were like, you know what? We're just going to ride with it, baby. We're just going to let him go. We're going to see what happens. Well, now we have a backup tackle coming in to start, so we'll see how that goes.
Too much money. Didn't he get like $9 million a year or something, or $8 million a year?
He was under 3 years. He was under 10. So
okay.
For a starting left tackle in the NFL, $10 million a year is not terrible. He's not long-term fixed, but he is a Band-Aid, so we can slap it on there. Maybe get Paris Johnson Jr. in the draft, something. We got Daniel Brunskill at guard. That's a former 49er. Arden Key was a former 49er. We got Aziz Al-Shier. He's a former 49er. So basically, Ron Carthon was like, we're going to take all the players that I liked in San Fran, and we're just going to put them on this team. A few years ago, we were Patriots 2.0. Now we're San Fran 2.0. So that's what happened.
Not a bad team to be a 2.0 of.
Yeah, Brunskill. I mean, all we need is Brock Purdy, right? Bring him over and we'll be great. Brunskill was good. I like that pick. Shazier, not Shazier, Al-Shier. I can't even say his name. He might pan out. I like that. Gifford, he's special teams, so we'll see. Boogie said, I like everything we're doing, hoping for a good draft, but not expecting too much this year. I'm with you. Titans 7-10. Be my prediction.
I did mock Paris Johnson to the Titans in my mock draft. So
I think with the signing of Dillard, they're not going to go tackle. I don't know if they're going to go wide receiver.
To be fair, my mock draft was before that signing, but
that was. I would have picked Paris Johnson myself. Boogie says Henry probably has one more good year.
Isn't he on the trade block?
I was just about to ask that. Do you think to trade him?
I wouldn't. He's costing $16 million a year, and at that price, someone's only going to give like a 5th round pick. Henry's better than a 5th round running back right now. He still put up 1,500 yards last year, over 1,300 yards. He was like 3rd in the league in rushing, so he still has it. The line's only going to be better, so he's still going to be good. But he's only got like 1 year left.
How old is Henry?
He's been in the league 7 years, but his first 3 years he was either behind McFadden or splitting time. So he's really only been like a starter for 4 full years. So, but he's got over 8,000 career yards. So he's doing pretty good.
He's got over 8,000 career attempts too.
He's got attempts, man. He's been running. All right, guys. Do you have anything else you want to talk about on your teams wise as far as free agency so far?
I mean, like I said, the receiver market is very intriguing right now because these guys aren't getting paid. OBJ came out. There was a report that he wanted $20 million a year, but I don't think that was true. So I'm curious to see if he'll get like 13 to 15 a year if he wants to do like a 1-year deal on a prove it because he's coming off that injury and test the market again next year. I'm really intrigued by that. DeAndre Hopkins has been, rumored to a few different teams. Supposedly he's only going to cost like a 3rd, maybe a 4th round pick just because of what they got for Jalen Ramsey, which was only a 3rd round pick. But yeah, it's the receiver market's finally starting to heat up, but there's still a few decent ones available. So I'm curious to see which ones the Chiefs go after because now that Juju's gone, they lost Justin Watson. So they're only down to 3 receivers right now, so they need to get someone.
The resurrection of Justin Ross.
What did you say, Cody?
I was going to say you can bring back like the resurrection of Justin Ross. Not really resurrection, but
the guy I have hope in was that receiver they just drafted they didn't draft him out of Clemson, the unrestricted free agent.
Justin Ross.
Is that what you said, Justin Ross? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Then they got to get another Ross from the Bengals. John Ross.
John Ross.
That's what I thought you were referring to. But yeah, Justin Ross, I have high hopes in him. If he can come back from that injury, I think he could potentially be, number 2 receiver.
Well, they were saying he was like 1st round talent before he got hurt.
Yep.
So
he could really pan out. All right, boys. Going to get into some hold and folds. We haven't done these for a while. Got some interesting ones here for you. Anybody watching at home, feel free to answer whether you would hold or fold. So if you guys don't remember how this works, I'll say a bold statement, may or may not believe it, and then you guys decide whether you're going to hold it, which means it's true, you like it, or you're going to fold it, which means it's false, you hate it. Who wants to go first?
Lay it on me.
Go, you go first. It's a Rogers question, or a Rogers bold statement. Here's my bold statement: Rogers is a bigger clown than Antonio Brown.
That's full, dude. He's a clown, but he's not as bigger clown than Antonio Brown.
What? No, dude. He literally bitched about his team not having enough weapons, and then he literally wants all those same weapons.
No. Look, I get it. He's a clown.
He's showing his cock to the world. You know what? He's just trying to get more revenue for his OnlyFans when he starts it up. Aaron Rodgers is out here just getting high, living in the dark, and then be like, "I have no weapons," and then want those same weapons. That's
like I said, he's a clown. How about this? I'll half hold, half fold. They're equally clowns, just in different ways.
Are we playing five card stud here? You can give me half back, and I'll give you another half.
Yeah. They're both clowns, just clowns in their own ways.
All right. Well, I mean, they are for sure. Greg, my bold statement: Tom Brady should return to play in Miami. It's been rumored that Miami is the only open area that Tom Brady would come back and play. So that is my bold statement: is he should come back and he should play for Miami.
I'm going to go hold on that because I have zero faith in Tua, as stated earlier in the season. I don't think he's the answer. So you get Brady to come back with those weapons with Tyreek Hill. They just, re-signed Mostert. Waddle. They're, have a decent defense. They're building on it. They just went and got Ramsey. He would be able to draw pretty much whoever he wants to that team, like all these guys like, OBJ or something like that, where you just bring him in and be like, all right, let's go for it. One last run. I think he could easily pull it off. Also, he has connects to the owner in Miami. That's how they got fucked with the tampering thing earlier in the process. So I could definitely, I don't definitely see it happening, but I think that it could happen, and that'd be awesome if it did, because then it'd be basically a 2-horse race, I feel like, in the AFC with the Dolphins and the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm holding. Bring him back. Go ahead and pull that egg up. Rob,
hiding, Rob. He has work.
Izzy said that we didn't actually make that bet, and until we actually pull the footage, he's not going to egg himself, and he's also purposely avoiding us, so he doesn't have to do it. When I was in Tampa last, I tried to egg him and get it on camera, and he completely backed out.
You should have just snuck up on him and smashed a fucking egg on his head.
I don't even know if he had eggs in the house when I was there. All right, Buki says I would stick with Tua. There it goes. If Brady comes in, Tua will one out ASAP. I mean, that's fair. But if you're Miami, do you want a Super Bowl or do you want to ride with Tua? It comes down to what you trust. If you trust Tua, then you want to develop him. If you don't, run with Brady. 1 year, win a bowl. All right. Cody, your next hold and fold. The city of Houston should hate Davis Mills and Jordan Akins for that 4th and 20 touchdown at the end of the year that gave them the second pick instead of the first.
I say we wait to see what happens in the draft, because what it sounds like Panthers are trading up, but they really like CJ Stroud, and it sounds like Houston wants Bryce Young, so they can still get Bryce Young, but let's see what happens first. So I'll fold for now.
I'm with you on that one because I don't think getting the second pick was a terrible thing, because everyone's like, well, they could have had all of this that the Bears got for that trade, but they wouldn't have, because they wanted the quarterback.
Yeah, they wouldn't have traded anyway.
So I'm with you on that one. All right. Greg, the Jets are the favorites in the East.
I mean, if they get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm assuming Aaron Rodgers is
assuming they get Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I think it'd probably be like a minus. Each team would be like minus 105 or plus 105. It'd be an absolute toss-up, because the Bills, they didn't look too hot towards the end of the last season. I don't think they've gotten better by any means, because they lost Edmonds. They re-signed Poyer, which helps. But, I mean, Jets you look at their team, they're just pretty much a quarterback away. If you get above-average quarterback play instead of awful quarterback play, Zach Wilson was terrible. Even when Mike White was doing okay, playing slightly below average, the Jets looked like a 500 team. So you go in and add a quarterback who's going to play, above average. I think they could easily compete for that division and probably win it.
I got a hold and fold for you for the Jets.
All right.
If the Rodgers talks fall out, if you're the Jets, do you trade up and take one of these quarterbacks? Trade up to maybe 4, trade up to, get Richardson or Levis, or, you're probably not getting Stroud or Young. What would you trade up? Try and get Levis or Richardson?
If you don't get Rodgers, do you make
Yeah, if you don't get Rodgers.
If you don't get Rodgers after bringing in Lazard, Cobb, and everything that he's basically asked for,
hypothetically speaking, you don't get Rodgers.
You shoot yourself in the foot. You run with Zach Wilson for one more year. I think.
I'd go into Lamar Jackson. I think
Lamar would be the next. But here's what I think: if they don't get Rodgers, $100 says the Titans send off Tannehill. The Titans aren't trying to win it this year. They're not tanking, but they're not trying to win it this year. I would bet that they would send Tannehill if they don't get Rodgers. So I don't know if they would trade up in the draft, but I think they would still get a quarterback. I want to pull up what Rob said the last two.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, that reminds me. My CJ Stroud combine grades: throwing A, interviewing F.
Oh, he's terrible. He really likes Vic and Watson. Yeah, we don't want that on the team. Levis and AR are going to be bust for sure. Dude, I don't know. I watched the throwing at the combine, and Anthony Richardson put every ball on the dime. Like, CJ Stroud looked terrible. I watched that, and I was like, I would not pick CJ Stroud over Anthony Richardson. Bryce Young did not throw. Levis has a cannon, but
Richardson, his coolest thing, I think, is his pocket presence. Like, there are a few plays I saw him where he just just awareness in the pocket, where to step, where to go, like prolong the play, and then eventually a receiver got open. He's got all the physical attributes. He's got a cannon for an arm. I guess the only thing that was not good for him was his decision making, like in some of those throws. And I don't know, that's something you can teach, but you take everything else with that and think you can fix that. He's the number 1 overall pick, hands down.
If you have a good QB coach, I think he has a chance because his accuracy was on point. CJ Stroud was okay. He looked terrible after Anthony Richardson in every drill. So I'm not going to say he's going to be a bust yet because we don't know, depending on where he goes. So that was a good question, Cody.
Thanks, man.
All right, Cody, your next hold and fold. My bold statement: the Bears won free agency.
Bears won free agency. I'm not really sure who they signed yet, but they definitely won that trade they made.
Oh, is the trade part of that?
Yeah.
Oh, if the trade's part of it, then right now probably yeah. They did lose David Montgomery, which hurts. So you definitely have to find someone to fill that void, even though that Khalil Herbert did look good last year when he filled in. I think if you just, go out, draft, go get one of these top tackles in the draft, maybe sign another offensive lineman. Yeah, I think they'll be a good team next year.
Well, they got a tackle.
Not good necessarily, but they're going to be much better than they were.
Well, they got a tackle. Who'd they sign? They signed a pretty solid tackle. They didn't get McGlinchey, but they got the second best. Or third best, I guess, because Brown was first. They got Nate Davis at guard, which was solid. They got Tremaine Edmonds at linebacker. Yeah. They picked up another pass rusher. They really added some. They picked up a corner. They added some bulk to their team. So far, I think they're number 1.
They have so much cap space where if they can go out and get Orlando Brown Jr., I think he's going to end up only getting probably like 20 to 22 a year. They can go. They have plenty of cap space. You go get him as your left tackle. Build around Fields. They just got DJ Moore, as a weapon. They still have a really high draft pick, which you can use. I don't know, get Jalen Carter because it's looking like he's going to continue to fall. Like, Bears are in a pretty good situation right now.
Yeah,
Jalen Carter showed up to his pro day like 9 pounds overweight and couldn't even complete his reps. Yeah. So he'll be sliding down those draft boards.
All right, Greg. Daniel Jones, this is my bold statement. Daniel Jones is worth more than Derek Carr. He got a bigger contract, but if it was you, do you think he's worth more money than Derek Carr?
I think both of them are overpaid. Like, I don't know. I'm not. I guess there's a little bit more upside with Daniel Jones at this point, so I think that's something to look at. But Derek Carr, he's had pretty good teams with the Raiders and never really did anything with it. Danny Dimes, brought them to the playoffs, got a playoff win, looked decent in those games. You get him a competent receiver too. I think he might be able to win maybe a couple games in the playoffs, but I don't know.
All right, got to pull up Rob's comment here. How many playoff games has Derek Carr been in? Has had way better weapons. He was in what, 2? 1 last year, a few years ago. They got a wild card.
Bengals, yeah.
Yeah, hasn't won any. We got Mr. Bakes a lot. CJ Stroud is better passer in film. The combine made Richardson look better than he really is. 50% actually in college doesn't really translate to franchise. See, I agree with them. I think Anthony Richardson is going to be more of a developmental guy. One of these teams that brings them in, they're probably going to have some issues the first couple weeks with him, I think.
Okay.
I mean, he has the physical attributes, like I said. And I mean, you do look at his film when he was in Florida. He did have some throws that made you think, like, what the fuck? Like, does this guy know what the hell he's doing? But I mean, if those things are coachable, I mean, he definitely has the most upside out of, all those guys and could potentially be, a really, really, really good quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not out on AR. CJ Stroud, the Titans were willing to him. Highly doubt they get him, so I'm not gonna have to worry about it. Don't think he's gonna be a bad quarterback. Just watching the combine, he did not look nearly as good.
What was the last really good Ohio State quarterback?
I mean, Fields looks okay.
I mean, yeah, you're going on year 3, Fields.
Yep. This is 3, yeah.
I feel like this is a make or break year for Fields. Like, if he doesn't take that next step, I think he's, could be done.
Well, I think that's why they really built the line around him. They're like, here's your line. We're going to get you DJ Moore, and we're going to use our picks to help you out. This is your chance to prove that you're the guy. So I think this year, even though he'll have a 4th year, I think this year will really determine if he gets his 5th-year deal or not.
Yep.
So, all right. Cody, hold and fold. Eagles won't win the division this year. They lost a ton of players in free agency.
They did. They're gonna lose Slay. They lost Sanders.
Slay's gone. Sanders gone. They re-signed. I think it was Brandon.
Yeah, Fletcher Cox. They brought back. They lost. Forgot who else they lost. Kelsey's back. Hargraves. They lost Hargraves. Cowboys. They just got Gilmore, which is a good move. I don't know. It's a tough one.
They still have Micah. The defense is still pretty good. Dak, Tony Pollard's going to be getting all the carries because Zeke's gone.
They get OBJ or Hopkins. Cowboys win that division.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I'll still take Philly right now to win. I'll still take them right now to win. I think they're better coached. I think they're better
DJ Reed too.
Organization
helped us out there.
DJ Reed, yeah.
All right, last hold and fold. Greg, this is for you. We kind of already talked about this. Oh, he said that's the Jets. My bad. You got us because I thought he was there too, so it's all good. All right, Greg, last hold and fold, and then we'll go into some start bench cuts. I think we've already answered this, so this won't take very long. Will Levis will be the first QB taken.
Old. I mean, he's. I mean, all the quarterbacks are kind of in the mix right now, but I mean, if anything, I think Richardson has the best chance of being taken, number one, just because of how well he did at the combine. And, if you're a team that's like still like 2 years away, like you can take Richardson, have him sit for a year, maybe bring in some veteran or something, or have him play behind someone. And then the next year, try to really take that step. But yeah, Levis, he'll be a top 10 pick, but he's not going to be number 1 overall.
They're comparing him heavily to Josh Allen, and I hate that because Josh Allen played at Wyoming. Josh Allen played on with the best team in the conference and was not polished coming out of college. Will Levis plays in the SEC on a shitty team in Kentucky and made them relevant. He's playing against top talent. Like, he's already prepared himself, and he took a shitty team and made them relevant. That is a huge quarterback feature for me. So I'm excited to see him play.
He's very confident too in his like interviews and everything. Very, very confident, which is
I'm saying Levis is more like Carson Wentz. Yeah, I mean, playing style wise, but what I'm saying is those guys, Josh Allen, Carson Wentz, Ben Roethlisberger, even though he turned out to be great, Those guys came out of school without having any competition. He literally played in the best division in football with a shitty team and did very, very well. That's going to translate to the NFL very easily. That's my point. He couldn't beat out Sean Clifford. Yeah, well, he still did pretty good last year. So
Nagu, I like him too. I think he'll be all right.
I like him as a quarterback. I think I'm not huge on Bryce Young. Me and Buki had this talk the other day. I'm not real big on Bryce Young. I think I'd rather have Will Levis over Bryce Young, to be honest, just from what I've seen. Bryce Young.
I can't say I disagree with you by any means.
Bryce Young was on one of the most talented teams in college football and couldn't win at all. Will Levis was on a shitty team in the SEC and made him relevant. So that would be my own take on it. He's a winner. All right, moving on. Start bench cuts. Cody, this one's for you. So you have to cut one, start one, bench one. Okay. Christopher Izzy, Cody McGoats, Greg Gormley. Go.
So it's me, Izzy, and Greg.
Yep.
Well, I'm starting myself.
I was gonna say.
I gotta bench Greg since he's here, and I'll cut Izzy since he's never on the show anymore.
I want to go up and pull up Mr. Bakes-a-Lot's comment there. His interviews went well. Levis definitely believes in himself and his canon.
Yeah.
I would say confidence never really does translate into the NFL because Josh Rosen had great confidence coming out of college too.
But so did Joe Burrow. Big Dick Joe showed up, Mr. Joe Cool, and he was sacked like a billion times, and he turned out pretty well. I think as a quarterback, you have to have confidence.
I agree. I'm just saying it doesn't always translate.
No, I agree with that. It doesn't. All right, Greg, your start cut bench. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal. And this is for the NFL, not NBA.
For the NFL?
You can put them in any position you want.
I know mine. I think this one's pretty easy. Probably going to be controversial, but.
I'm cutting Michael Jordan.
He's smallest.
Yeah, I'm going to start LeBron James and bench Shaq.
All right, maybe it's not controversial because that's exactly what I would have picked.
I would probably do the same thing.
I would have Shaq as the best tackle in the game.
I would put Shaq at like outside linebacker / D end, have him play off the edge.
It's too slow.
Let him use his length. I mean, he's gotten in shape. He's not
tackle. He can eat up two guys.
That's fair. True. I mean, he's cool, man.
I would just have him protect the quarterback, man. No one's getting by him.
I don't know. All right, good one. All right, Cody, this is for you. These are free agent wide receivers that are left. So start bench cut. OBJ, Darius Slay, DJ Chark. And we know you're a huge Chark guy. So for those
I think you said receivers.
These are receivers.
You said Darius Slay.
Oh, Darius Slayton.
Darius Slayton. I put it in
Darius Slayton. OBJ, Darius Slay, well. DJ Chark. All right.
Slayton, yes.
Sorry. All right. Well, I'm going to start DJ Chark.
Over OBJ.
OBJ's barely played in 2 years.
Okay, that's fair.
So give me Chark to start. I'll bench OBJ because he's got the potential. Could, and then sorry, Slayton, I'm gonna have to cut you.
Okay. Greg, I got one for you. N'Keal Harry, Jacoby Myers, and Juju. All three previous or current Patriot wide receivers.
I mean, you got to go start Juju. I mean, I'm going to go start Juju. He got his ring. Now he's going to get his bag. You said Myers?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm benching Myers. And then N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry's not even relevant anymore. Like, isn't he with the Bears now or something?
I was saying you couldn't pick like Devontae Parker or like.
Yeah, Harry's getting axed.
He was like a first-round pick.
Waste of a first-round pick.
Cody, Jamal Williams, David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, all on the lines. Even though I think Jamal Williams is walking, but
Jamal Williams signed with the Saints today, actually.
Oh, missed that. Okay.
So Williams, Swift, Montgomery. Oh boy, this is actually tough. I'll take start Swift because his pass catching abilities. I will bench Williams, cut Montgomery.
Ooh, big update. The Chiefs have converted 12 million of Patrick Mahomes' roster bonus into a signing bonus, creating almost 10 million in cap space.
Dude, they're just
out
gonna
of
keep pushing his contract back and back and back.
The cap is a myth.
I hate the NFL lets them do that. Start bench cut on a long plane ride. OBJ, Russ Wilson, or Kirk with his chains on. I'm going to start Kirk Cousins with his chains on. I'm going to bench OBJ, and I'm cutting Russ. I don't want
I
someone
agree.
going up and down.
Great.
I'm not trying to fall asleep in some dude doing fucking squats next to me.
Like I'm trying to watch an in-flight movie, take a nap, and here he is just exercising. No, fuck that guy. I like Russ Wilson too, but that ain't happening. Not on a plane ride. All right, last one. Start bench cut. Greg, this is for you. I need you to focus.
I'm excited now. 10 million clear cap space. Bring on Hopkins or Tunsil or something.
That's all they do is just constantly take Patrick Mahomes' like $50 million salary and just give it to him in bonus so they don't have to do it. It's such bullshit. Anyway.
Smart.
All right, Greg, you ready? Here we go. Start bench cut. In the NFL, Mila Kunis, Jennifer Lawrence, Anna Kendrick.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with start Jennifer Lawrence. I feel like she's a pretty good veteran.
She's a pretty good veteran. I mean, she's the biggest out of the three, so she'd hold up the best.
Let's go with bench Mila Kunis and then cut. Who was the last one?
Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, I'll cut Anna Kendrick.
So I'm going to start Mila Kunis instead, and hear me out. She voiced Meg Griffin, so she's versatile. She can play real life and she can voice cartoon characters, so she's versatile.
So you're gonna put her at wide receiver, tight end.
I'll start her. Yeah, she's gonna be like my Kadarius Toney, running back, receiver, whatever. Any kick return, punt return.
She's your Debo.
Exactly. I'm gonna put her all over the field.
Okay. All right, guys. Got a few questions left. Anyone in the comments, throw some questions in there to keep things going here. But I have some random questions for you guys that involve with the rest of the season. A little more serious than the start bench cut ones. So, Cody, where do you think Zeke will end up? Now, some of these might have happened because I have not followed any of the free agencies all afternoon. So, but where do you think Zeke ends up?
I don't know why I have a weird gut feeling, and I texted in the group chat before. I have a weird feeling he ends up in Miami. Does he actually? I don't know. But my gut feeling leads Miami. No real indications why. Another team I could see him going is Philly. They just lost Miles Sanders. If they can get him on a cheap deal, that might not be a bad idea. And another team, possibly the Chargers. Austin Eckler just requested a trade. If they actually trade him, it would all depend on that. But I could see a team like the Chargers possibly getting him. So those will be my the three top, I would say.
Okay, good. Greg, the question that Buki put here in the comments is actually what I had on here. I had, should the Ravens trade Lamar or let Lamar walk? So we'll go ahead and take Buki's question. See, where do you think he ends up? Does he end up with the Ravens or do they do something else?
I think he's going to end up with the Ravens, but one team that intrigues me is the Commanders. I mean, they do have like Sam Howell, who's like, I don't know, going to have an opportunity. There's going to be a QB battle, but you put him on that offense with McLaurin, Brian Robinson. They have a good running attack. Jahan Dotson. You know, I think the Commanders can have a lot of success. They already have a pretty good defense, really good defensive line. So if you put a competent quarterback in there, you know, and they just, revolve the offense around him, I feel like they could have a lot of success and sneak into the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. This is a big thing that the whole Aaron Rodgers situation has completely, like, at least what I listen to, has faded this Lamar situation. Like, Aaron Rodgers has been talked about so fucking much, and this Lamar situation is not being talked about at all. So let's just go around and discuss it because it's not beaten to dead yet. Cody, what do you think? What do you think about Lamar, the situation, and what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to walk. I don't know how true this is, but I saw some report where they did offer him like 3 years, like $130 million guaranteed, I want to say. And he wasn't happy about that one. I just don't think they're going to pay him what he wants or what he thinks he deserves. I don't see him playing in Baltimore. Where he goes, that I don't know. But I don't see him playing in Baltimore.
This is wild. And yeah, the former MVP quarterback, he has a playoff win. It's not like they've been shitty since he's been there, and they're not going to pay him. So it's kind of wild. Rob put in the comments, Jordan Addison, up or down? USC receiver. What do you guys think? I actually don't have much. I didn't follow him in the combine at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know much either. I do know I mocked him. Actually, I think to the Ravens. Ironically enough, from what I'm hearing, he's good talent. One of the better receivers in the draft. Up or down? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know much of. Like I said, like you, Pat, I didn't see much of his combine.
Yeah, he got a 4.49 40, a 34-inch vertical, 10.2 broad jump.
The thing is, like, the combine didn't do good for like any of the receivers. I feel like, well, Quentin Johnson didn't even test. Like all the receivers that were supposed to be fast, like didn't really run fast 40s. Like it looked like the track was pretty slow. So I feel like that hurt a lot of the guys. Addison, he's still going to be a first-round pick, probably a top 20 pick. He's just an overall solid receiver, very good route runner, a little bit undersized, but one of the more natural receivers that you're probably going to see in this draft.
It's a weak free agent wide receiver class, and it's a weak draft class for wide receivers. So last year, the wide receivers, everyone's like, this is a deep class wide receivers, D-backs, everything. This class is pretty weak. What did Boogie say? How do you think Dak will perform this season, and will the Cowboys make the playoffs?
Ooh, sorry. There it is.
As long as they get Hopkins or OBJ, they get one of those receivers to go next to CD Lamb. Their running game is going to be the same. Dak's going to continue to do well. Their defense, they got a great pass rush. They'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Dak will be Dak, and I think just how weak the NFC is, they'll make it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Cowboys make the playoffs. I think that they can compete with the Eagles after what the Eagles lost. I'm with Greg, though. They need to add a receiver, either OBJ or DeAndre Hopkins. If I am a team in the NFL and it's only going to cost me a third-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins, which I saw that.
I'm all over that.
I'm doing it. Yeah, he's been injured. Yeah, he's had some off-field problems and some drama with Kyler Murray and that coaching staff, but who hasn't? The fucking Cardinals are a shit show. Did you guys see the draft card? Not the draft card, the team report cards that came out? The Cardinals,
Arizona's like half everything.
Like, there's not a good thing about that organization, so you can't really judge anything that happened there. So I'd run with it. Skip Bayless says he thinks I can't see it because of my screen.
I was just thank God for Stephon Gilmore. Which I agree. I like that move. I think they got him for like a 5th-round pick or something. Like they gave up like nothing for him.
I mean, he didn't have a good year in Indy, but that whole team underperformed.
I was gonna say,
he had a pretty good year. He had a pretty good year in Indy, surprisingly.
Not against the Titans, because I watched that game. He looked
I would say not many people in Indy had a good year.
Yeah, it was rough.
Just man know that one after trading Tyreek Hill for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
Still hurts.
I bet it does. Okay, who's up? So this kind of piggybacks off of our previous conversation. I think it's Cody. Do you think the lack of interest in Lamar Jackson is the NFL owners trying to reset the market after Deshaun Watson? So Lamar wants a full guarantee contract. He wants the same thing that Deshaun got. Do we think the lack of interest and the lack of paying is due to them wanting to reset the market and they're taking it out on him, or do they really not believe that he's worth a Deshaun Watson type of contract?
I think one of the biggest things is I don't think the Ravens have the money to pay him. I think that was one of the biggest factors. They just don't have the money to pay him. And honestly, what I think it is, and Izzy and I talked about this the other day, I think these NFL owners are kind of getting tired of these players signing 4 or 5 year deals and then a year later saying, hey, I want out of here. So I think that's making some NFL owners being a little more skeptical to give out these long-term deals. But honestly, I think biggest factor is they just don't have the money to pay them.
Well, they're paying long-term deals, but they're paying guaranteed money. So they're getting all that money up front, all that's in a bank. And then when they get transferred over, they still have to pay that, even if it's not dead cap. So I'd be pissed too. Buki wants to know, biggest winner and biggest loser so far this off season. I'll go first. I think the biggest winner so far are the Bears. I think they did a great job with their first overall pick, trading it out, DJ Moore getting more picks. I think their free agency class has been good. I think they picked up everything they needed to play. I think with how the NFC North is right now. They're trying to make a run at competing for it. I don't know if they'll win it, but I think that's what they're trying to do. So I like them. Biggest losers, I got to go with the Patriots. They kind of just sat idly by. I mean, they made like 2 signings, a decent signing. They got Jabril Peppers, so I mean he's pretty good. That's a good pick for them. They like a safety, but I think overall they haven't really done anything. So I want to go probably the Pats, maybe, or the Panthers. I think the Panthers made a lot of shitty decisions in general. Like
They signed Sanders today. That was pretty good. I didn't see that. I didn't see the details of the contract, but I'd
I'm
see
not a fan of Miles Sanders. Like I would not. I like if Zeke's out there, I would rather go after Zeke than Miles Sanders, even if it's a couple more extra. So, what do you guys think? Biggest winners, losers?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Bears as winners. They went out. They've been one of the more active teams so far. Losers, I don't know. That there's, I gotta say, there's been quite a few. To be honest, a lot of teams that just are just sitting idly by, like you said, not doing much. The Packers, even though they're winners in my eyes, getting rid of Rodgers. A lot of people see that as a loss, though. I mean, there's just a lot of teams that just aren't doing anything right now.
Greg, what you got?
2 teams that really stand out for me is, well, they're not technically losers yet, but they haven't gotten off to a good start. Or the Bengals and the Bills. Like they were supposed to be the next competition to Mahomes and that team, and they have done nothing. Like the Bengals went and lost Jesse Bates. They haven't went around and signed a new guy yet. Like they lost Samaj P.
Von Bell too.
Who was that?
Von Bell too.
Like I said, they lost like both safeties too.
And Joe Mixon, what the heck's going on with him? He might be facing
shooting at kids.
Yeah.
But like I'm looking at these teams, and like the Bills lost Tremaine Edmonds. They did re-sign Poyer, which was good, but they haven't done shit yet. I mean, it's still early in the free agent period, and there's still a lot of really good free agents available. And eventually, it's just the price is going to continue to drive down for these guys, so they'll be able to get guys on better deals. But they've done shit. Like the Chiefs went out and made only like 2 or 3 moves, like nothing super crazy, but they've addressed the needs that they had. Where they lost Frank Clark, they went and signed a new D lineman. They lost Orlando Brown, so they went out and signed Jawan Taylor. So they've addressed the needs that they lost so far. And you look at the AFC, and it's like, who's going to stop the Chiefs now? Like nobody's doing shit. Like they're not working to get their teams better. Like I don't know.
Boogie says Bills are losers, Bears are winners.
I think one thing that makes the Bills losers too, and I think something that kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Stephon Diggs came out the other day and was basically like, we have good coaches, we have a good team, why aren't we succeeding in the playoffs? So I think there might be some like locker room, chit chat going on there that could affect the team overall.
Man, I said it a bunch last year. Josh Allen will not win a big game. He can't win a big game. He can't win a close game. He doesn't have the clutch. They need receivers and a little better line now.
Well, the Bengals need offensive line desperately, and the Bills need – I mean, they have Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, and Isaiah McKenzie. So, like, that's a pretty solid receiving core. I think they need a better running back, but –
McKenzie and Davis for me are a little too inconsistent.
Sorry, Greg. Cody, go.
I was just going to say McKenzie and Davis for me are just a little too inconsistent. They need someone to come in that's going to be, consistent production.
Yeah.
Maybe like an OBJ.
But, I mean, you have Josh Allen coming out here and playing reckless and, like, fumbling the ball, throwing interceptions. Like, he's got to be a little bit more smart with the ball. And if you go out and get OBJ, like, you're set up for success. You just got to execute. You can't be doing stupid things. You got to be patient.
That could be another team I could see. I don't know what their money situation looks like, but Zeke could be a good fit on there.
Yeah, I was going to say that earlier. Yeah, I agree.
Depending on how much Zeke wants. Zeke might just want
That's what I mean, depending on the money, yeah.
He might take a team-friendly deal with a good team.
Trade for Dalvin Cook. You can have Dalvin and his brother on the same team. Two-headed monster.
I think they're hoping that he turns into Dalvin Cook. Like I think they want James to be just as good as Dalvin.
They started using him a little more in the season, like as the season went on later, and he looked good. He looked good in the combine last year. I think he has all the potential. Like you guys know, he was one of my favorite running backs going in the last year. So we'll see.
Good question, Buki. Keep throwing them out there, man. Greg, should Josh McDaniels be a head coach? Every team he's went to, like previously, it just blew up. Where was he at? I think it was Miami. He blew up there. Now in Las Vegas, He's gotten rid of Carr. He's gotten rid of Darren Waller. Like, the team doesn't seem like they want to play for him. They did better with an interim head coach with less talent after the whole John Gruden debacle than they did with Josh McDaniels. And he doesn't have a good track record as a coach anyway, if we're talking overall record. Do you think he should still be a head coach in the NFL?
I think this year is going to tell. Like they went out and got Jimmy G to replace Derek Carr. They made a few moves. They're going to make a few more moves. If he can't get it done this year where they're competitive and, make the playoffs, essentially win a playoff game, and they just shit the bed this year, like he's going to be gone. Like 100% they're going to fire him because, he's had no proven success. And then he'll probably end up as an offensive coordinator somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's a better offensive coordinator. Some coaches are just mindset is not head coach. They're more a coordinator, and that's perfectly fine. And they just need to stay in their lane. Spooky wants to know, is Josh Allen overhyped for not being able to get over the hump or get to a Super Bowl? It's tough to say that because he does play against Patrick Mahomes. He does play against Joe Burrow in the playoffs. So, and Lamar Jackson when the Ravens are there. So I would say it's tough to say he's overrated because there is a lot of talent in the AFC, but he can't win the close games. We talked about this in the regular season. All of their wins the Bills had over the last couple of years are by double digits. And so, like, late in the season, they won a couple single-digit games. They can't win close games. They can't win big games. So is it all on Josh Allen? He does turn the ball over a lot in close games. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think if he definitely just didn't turn the ball over as much, that team would perform much better. Overhyped. I could see the argument on him being a little overhyped. This past year he had, I think, the number one overall offense, and defense was, I think, third or fourth overall, and just got to playoffs, and that was it.
The Bills have always had a really good defense year after year after year, and Josh Allen still hasn't been able to get it done. At some point, he has to be held accountable and go out and be like, all right, I need to play better. I need to stop throwing interceptions, fumbling the ball, playing recklessly. I need to come out and just play better, because with the defense like that the Bills have every year, they should pretty much be in the Super Bowl. Like, there's no reason for that. You have like a top 10 defense, top 5 defense every single year and have that many weapons on offense. And I don't know, you got to have some results.
A couple of years ago, their defense pitched, I think, 4 shutouts in a season, and the rest of the NFL only had 2. So they had an elite defense, and they still couldn't get done. Last year, they lost to the Chiefs in that last 3 minutes of the game, and everybody was like, "Oh, we didn't change the overtime rules because Josh Allen didn't get the ball." But yeah, I could definitely see why people think he's overhyped. All right, I got 2 more questions left, but keep throwing them in the comments. We'll keep chatting. Cody, this is for you because you're a fantasy player. Where would you rank Baker Mayfield as a QB for this upcoming season? So, we have all the QBs in the league. Where would you put him playing on a pretty potent offense? That's if he gets the starting job in Tampa. But good weapons, good offense. They throw the ball. Tom Brady threw for 4,000 yards at like 46 years old.
James Robinson to the Patriots, 2-year deal.
What's that?
James Robinson to the Patriots, 2 years, max value $8 million. Patriots making moves.
Still my losers.
Not terrible. Where do I rank Baker Mayfield? Obviously, we still got to see worse, our starting quarterbacks going into the season. With the rookies coming in, and who knows who's going to start. I'd probably float him around maybe 15 to 20 ish range, maybe 18 to 22, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Because, even on the Browns and when he was on the Rams, that's where he's been his whole career as far as fantasy goes. I don't think he's ever peaked over, I'd have to look, but I don't even think he's finished higher than 16 or 18 to begin with. So,
in his fairness, he was on the Browns, which is a running team. And then he went to the Rams, who were injured. And when he played for the Panthers, that team was just a disaster.
No, I agree. He hasn't had the best, we'll say deck of, hand of cards. But right now, I'll probably throw him in like that. We'll say 18 to 20 range. 18 to 20.
All right, Greg, my final question for you. And then you guys feel free. We already talked about this a little bit. You brought it up. How far will Jalen Carter fall? He was 9 pounds overweight. He had that incident with the cops, the racing, the issues. I mean, Vegas might be interested in him after that, but outside of that, how far do you think he's fallen in the draft? Do you think he's falling far? Because like he was like the best, and now it's like, oh, he was top 10, and this, it's like, how far is he sliding?
The talent's there. You can coach up the talent. Like he's still going to be a top 15 pick. A lot of teams will take the chance on the character issue just because of the raw talent. Like this guy was originally projected to be the first overall pick in the draft. I mean, he came in a little overweight. You just, teams just got to work with him a little bit, be a little flexible. I mean, hell, you're going to see potentially teams in the back half of the first round. If he starts falling and goes to around like 15 to 18, you're going to see teams that are going to trade up to get him because that just the talent's there. He's proven. He played, on the SEC championship team and dominated like offensive lines with Bama and all those other teams. Like he's unbelievable. So you just, got to get him in check.
So there's always players that have character concerns, make it to the NFL, get drafted relatively high, and then just don't pan out. I think teams are getting smarter with that. The Titans picked Isaiah Wilson as a tackle a few years ago. I don't even think he played. God. He was terrible. He was bad off the field. He had all these issues. Showed up, did not prepare for work. Treylon Burks, I'm just going to use the Titans because this is the perfect example. They fuck up all the time. Treylon Burks showed up to training camp and everything, out of breath, out of shape, and he did the same thing at Pro Day. He couldn't stay on the field. He was hurt this year. So I don't know. I'd be very concerned because track records with players that are doing this in the offseason as of recently haven't been able to play football. So.
One I can think of that happened in the past like 5 years was Laramie Tunsil. Like he was supposed to be a top 5 pick or something, and then they got caught up with the bong mask or whatever, and he ended up falling to pick like 20 or 25 or something like that. And he's had an incredible NFL career so far. So I guess he goes both ways.
Not early on. His rookie year was rough. Like a lot of people were like, he was too high at 20.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I remember because I was like, dodged a bullet, and then he got significantly better. But early on, he did not look great, even at number 20.
Yeah, I mean, I think some teams going to pick for the talent and potential, but I mean, the character issues are definitely, it's going to cause them to fall. I have a hard time seeing him fall out of the first round. There's going to be some team that takes him. Like I said, I just did my mock. I had him, I think, at 5 to the Seahawks or 6 to the Seahawks, whatever pick they have. I don't see that. I could see a team like, say New England at, I think they have 14. I mean, I could see a team like them draft him and, straighten him out.
But does New England do that? Like, I wish Izzy was on because Izzy would really know. But do they take problem players all the time? I know they took Randy Moss. Everybody's like, he's a diva. But he wasn't like a problem off the field. They did take in Ocho Cinco, who was a diva, but he didn't have.
I was say they took in Ocho Cinco. They took in Antonio Brown. I don't think they're necessarily worried about taking players like that.
AB is interesting because he wasn't crazy yet. Like he had some problems, but he wasn't crazy. And then after that, he went fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to see him fall out of the first round. Just how far down the first round, I don't know.
I mean, you put him in a good environment, he's going to have success. Like there's teams, plenty of teams out there that have really positive work environments and will bring him in and work with him and stuff. Kansas City, if he falls past 15, trade up and get him. But yeah, if he's put in the right, atmosphere, I think he'll have success.
Gotcha. Cody, we got another comment here.
Oh, them boys. Long time no see, my guy. It has been a while. Little pop-up show tonight.
Sorry, Dim Boys, you got on a little late. We're about done. I'm out of questions. We got nothing else in the comments. So unless you guys got something else to talk about, that's about it. Going around here, anybody got anything they want to chat? Anything they've seen? We didn't talk about the Falcons at all. Oh wait, here. What did Rob say? Pat, he called Maycock a cracker and putted a football at him and painted a Steelers helmet, Raiders colors.
Yeah, he's a little crazy.
That was after the Patriots, wasn't it? Oh no, he did go from Oakland to New England. You're right. My bad. Yeah, he was pretty fucking crazy. I eat my words there. Tom Brady straightened him out, and then until he started pounding Giselle. So,
Tom Brady's new girlfriend is woo.
She's Is she that blonde girl I've seen pictures of?
Pretty sure that's her.
Oh, dude, I've gotten into this debate with my friends all the time.
I haven't seen her.
Just not a huge fan myself. I'm not a big fan of sticks with tits. It's like a thing, I guess, out there. I'm just not a fan of that. I don't know if the proportions are very incorrect. It just does not work for me. Mookie says Steelers signing Patrick Peterson, a good pickup.
Oh, I actually meant to bring that up. I think that's a fantastic signing.
It's good.
I like it. I hope the Titans get Marcus Peters. I don't know if he was picked up yet. I didn't get to look at it, but he was a free agent.
He's got an attitude problem. You don't want him.
I do want him, actually. Put him on there. That's the problem. The Titans corners don't talk trash. They like shake everybody's hands. They little play bump and run. They touching boobies. I need somebody that has an attitude in the secondary because we don't have that. Kevin Byard will keep him straight. I'm pretty sure of that. So I want someone with an attitude. I want Marcus Peters. I do like Patrick Peterson to the Steelers to help that young team because they also got rid of Sutton. So
yeah, there's still a ton of free agents though. Like the next even week is going to still be crazy because there's just so many available. So
yeah, Darius Slay. I wonder where he goes. You got Brown. We talked about. Those are the top two that I can think of. But yeah, Darius.
Wait, hear me out on this one. You ready for this one? Yeah. Darius Slay for Austin Eckler.
Well, Darius Slay already got released, so he's a free agent.
Oh, did they finally cut him?
Yeah.
Corn Finnegan 2.0.
I'm surprised Austin Eckler wants to leave San Diego or LA, leave the Chargers. He scored like 30 touchdowns like 2 years in a row. Like he gets the ball, he runs it, he catches it, he does it all. Like why do you want to leave that? I guess unless you really want a championship, then go to New England.
I heard it was contract disputes.
Is that what it is?
Nobody wants to pay running backs. That's the big thing. That's why Minnesota's trying to shop Dalvin Cook, and they just re-signed Alex Madison to a 2-year deal for $7 million. So
yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more contracts like that for running backs, like 2-year things. Like I think a lot of teams aren't going to be giving running backs these 4 or 5 year deals anymore.
Well, I think Zeke broke the market. Derrick Henry, you could say, kind of did that because he's getting paid a ton, but he hasn't fallen off. He got injured, but he still was like the third in the league in rushing this year. And even when he was hurt, he was leading the league before he got hurt. So I don't think Derrick Henry broke the market, but Zeke did because Zeke got hurt. Zeke hasn't been himself. Zeke hasn't performed. He's been good, but he hasn't been that 1,600-yard rusher that he was. Yeah. Let's see. Bob says Cortland Finnegan 2.0. Clarence says talk stalled on.
I think the talk stalled was about the Eckler thing. Yeah, I mean, I see why the Chargers are a little hesitant to give him money. I mean, yeah, he's been phenomenal.
Denver's got a point there too. Really broke the market. He did.
Yeah. That's exactly like kind of the point I want to bring up with Eckler. Like, yeah, he's been phenomenal, but the past couple of years he's missed games. So who knows? Like, you go pay him $25 million next year, he misses 6 games, 7 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Running backs are tough because it's like no team that's won the Super Bowl in the last few years has paid their running back more than $2 million.
I think teams are catching on to that too.
You know,
I mean, look at the Eagles. I mean, they just went to the Super Bowl and they're not even bringing their running back back. So,
what big contract running back paid? There it is. Has paid off in the last decade.
I mean, you say Christian McCaffrey, but he's not on the Panthers anymore. But he's still playing well.
But if he
Dalvin get him in contract too. Like he's always been good or above average, but I mean, they haven't Dalvin Cook.
I keep kicking my desk and it's making my computer fucking.
I think what Rob is saying is, what big contract running back has taken their team to or won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that just doesn't happen. Like
Christian McCaffrey, I can understand paying because you could line him up in the slot. To be honest, like he doesn't have to play running back on the 49ers. So, but yeah, I'm with you. They haven't. Derrick Henry getting $16 million a year is way too much, and I love the guy.
I mean, the Rams went to the Super Bowl when they paid Gurley, so if you want to technically say it paid off, I mean, they didn't win, but they got there.
They did.
I mean, Joe Mixon going to the Super Bowl with the Bengals, but you saw Samaj P. Ryan step in, and he was the same player. I mean, Chiefs did it with the 7th-round pick with Pacheco and Damian Williams before that. Like,
yeah.
Running backs don't fucking matter.
Just like the salary cap. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just make the cuts. You're fine.
I mean, last decade, I'm trying to think back. I don't know. I can't really think of one.
I mean, they pay off in fantasy because those guys get the ball a lot, so you can get them early. But actual NFL, they have not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up top free agents left here to see what we have left, to see if there's anybody that was like big that we missed.
Them boys said Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, like he's going to be the big safety on the market. Juan Thornhill just got signed by the Browns, actually. He got a 3-year deal. So I still think Chiefs are going to just have Brian Cook step in. I don't think they would go after Johnson. He's going to want a lot of money. Bengals need a safety. That'd be huge if they get him.
Yeah, they definitely could now.
I got one that I'm interested in to see where they go. Bobby Wagner. He played a career year, had 100+ tackles. He had like 6 interceptions or 6 sacks and 2 interceptions, playing middle linebacker for the Rams. 33, probably a Hall of Famer. He didn't look like he slowed down last year. If you're a team that has a problem stopping the run, do you pay Bobby Wagner to come to your team?
For sure. Yeah, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, absolutely.
He's not going to want like that much money. I feel like
right.
linebackers you could get a pretty good deal on.
Well, David Long just got paid for Miami $5.5 million a year. So Wagner, I would assume, would be more than 5.5 because he's a better linebacker.
I found the Cowboys and them boys. You could tell me I'm wrong, but I think that's who they should go after. I think he put him in the middle. I have Parsons run like a maniac around the edge. I think that defense. I mean, with Gilmore, you basically just got for nothing. See, them boys agrees.
Cowboys go out, they get Wagner, you get OBJ, then they're going to be Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, the defense would be
that's
with Wagner in Dallas. He wants to stay on the West Coast.
Dallas is West Coast.
I mean, he played in Seattle. He played in
Dallas is it's close enough.
Yeah, it's like.
I mean, if you're in Dallas, I think it's Dallas. It might be Austin, so I might be wrong. But if you're in Dallas, aren't you closer to like Los Angeles than you are Houston or some shit? Or maybe it's Phoenix, Arizona. Like that's how big Texas is. Pretty odd geographically. If you're on the west side of Texas, you're closer to the west.
I think Las Vegas actually said they were interested in him. I could be wrong though.
Be a good pick. Dalton Schultz is still a free agent. Are we going to talk about
That's
him?
the one I'm hoping Green Bay gets him.
It's a very deep.
Would you rather have Dalton Schultz over Mike Gesicki?
I wouldn't mind either. I think I prefer Schultz. What's up?
There's going to be like 3 first-round tight ends this year. Like the Packers are better off just getting one of those 3 tight ends, a nice young guy. Like,
see, I rather sign a tight end than draft a need. Like I rather go get like a safety or an edge rusher or linebacker in the draft than just sign Schultz or Gesicki or there's another one I can't think of, but Darren Waller Giants, yeah.
Darren Waller to the Giants. That's what I'm saying. Josh McDaniels, I think, he just loves getting rid of players. He's just like, take everybody.
I mean, there's a reason. When you asked the question before, if McDaniels is a bad head coach, there's a reason guys go from head coach back to offensive coordinator. I mean, you see it all the time. I don't think he has any business being a head coach. We got 10 boys again.
Wagner at Mike and LVE at Will, so middle and weak. Okay, Mike.
Yeah, that's that defense would be crazy.
It would be really good. And then you have Diggs and
you got to play Philly twice a year.
You got the Giants and Minnesota too. So
yeah.
All right, my last one that I want to discuss, and then probably calling it a night for me here. 37-year-old defensive end Calais Campbell, 16 seasons in the NFL. Didn't really slow down last year. I mean, he didn't have a best all time, but he was still decent. Where do you think he goes? Would you sign him, or do you think he just stays in free agency and waits until a contender needs him if someone gets hurt?
I think one of these contending teams absolutely should sign him. Maybe Philly, Dallas, even the Bills, Bengals. I think one of these contending teams definitely should go and sign him because he's not going to be expensive. Definitely get us for some edge pressure. Absolutely.
He's going to be a while, though. He has a veteran minimum, so.
Yeah, he's going to come in at like a veteran, like later. I feel like later down the road, like he'll be, I don't know, like a June or July signing once all these teams, go through free agency, they get their guys, they go through the draft, they get more guys, they're finalizing their roster and everything. Then he'll come in at the very end. I mean, yeah, any contender, even the Chiefs, like they need defensive edge help always.
Oh yeah, that's another team. Yeah, I mean, one of these contending teams should sign him. Maybe not now, but definitely down the road.
Oh, 100% he's going to be on a team.
Pull up Buki's last comment here. I know you pulled it up once. Let's pull it up again. Type of guy Titans get. Cameron Wake. Okafor. This is exactly who they get. They get him. They don't do anything. We spend a lot of money on him for 2 years, and we gain nothing. So you guys, he's down the road. He's going to Tennessee. He's going to be there, and he's not going to play well. That's what's going to happen. So
unless they sign him and then like he's doing good, and they're like, all right, who wants to trade for him? And then you get a comp pick or like a 3rd or 4th or 5th round pick.
I'd be okay with that because we're probably not making the playoffs. We might win the division, maybe, but team's not looking that good right now.
Playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Ron Carthon's playing the long ball here. He's not tanking, but he's also not trying to win that hard. We have no.
It's just the worst.
Team, no
That's the worst place to be.
None of them.
It's like the Patriots right now. They're like trying to compete, but really not that hard. Same deal.
We're gonna just. The Titans are really good at being average. If you look like go back in history and look at their record, it's got to be 500.
Oh wait, I showed. That reminds me. Hold on, where'd it go? You guys know a while ago, Pat and I made a bet about on the Titans and Packers game, and I lost. And
oh yeah,
I haven't been able to do the jersey reveal live, so here it is. Is it big enough?
Basically, what you did is you were like, I lost this bet, so I'm gonna spend $3.
I think this baby cost me $22. I think it was.
I like it though. I like it.
Julio Jones Titans jersey.
I'm a huge fan.
Who the hell else? Who else in Pennsylvania is gonna have a Julio Jones Titans jersey?
Nobody. You.
This guy.
I'm a huge fan of players that played somewhere their whole career, and then you get their second team jersey. I've done that a lot. Junior Seau, I have one. I'm trying to think who else I have. I got a bunch of them. Jeremy Shockey, I have him in the Saints. So got a bunch of those. Told you this will be a long show. Good one though. Thanks, Buki. You did, but I'm checking out for the night, guys.
Thanks,
it is 9:47. I need to get a shower because I smell after working out, and I need to get up early. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't hit subscribe yet. We could use the love. Probably not going to be doing this weekly. Maybe every other week, guys. Every other third week.
Until stuff starts picking back up. Absolutely.
I mean, we could probably do one next week because there's going to be enough more free agency signings, and then probably take a couple weeks off. Maybe do a draft show or something.
I was going to say, we'll probably do a couple more like interesting shows rather than just talk, and maybe we'll do like draft shows, bracket shits, stuff like that. Maybe tier list. Trying to get creative here.
March Madness bracket it and let people vote. So we'll figure it out. We'll talk to you guys. Make sure you hit subscribe. Thank you guys for your time. We'll see y'all later. If anyone else has anything else to say, go right ahead.
Peace out, everyone.